we call SMART goal setting. Now you have to stick with this sort of, it's an acronym. So SMART stands for specific and simple. The goal needs to be measurable and meaningful to you. It has to be, as of now, achievable. It needs to be realistic and responsible. And you need to set up some sort of time for you to achieve that. Okay, so you've got to have an idea of when you want to achieve it. Okay, so set maybe a sort of milestone in a way. Okay, so that drives you towards the goal. Use a method to measure if you're moving towards a desired outcome or away. Okay, obstacles are good. So whenever you have obstacles, get excited when you come across them. Okay, if you come across obstacles, it means you are going somewhere. Now, funny thing is, every time whenever I'm going somewhere, I always come across obstacles. Now, the day before this event today, give you a true life experience, you know, I don't know if you guys are aware, but it was also on the news. There's been some power cuts in the UK, right? Never had any power cuts ever in my area, right? Ever. Since I've been alive, I never had a power cut in my area, right? Where I live. Now, one of the main areas has been actually a power cut. So a loss of power. So the power cut. There was no power, no electricity, right? So, you know, we've had a power cut yesterday. You know, whilst I was running the trade with, just the day before I was going to do the event. Obviously, still had to finish off some of the stuff for today as well. So no computer, no internet, nothing. Okay, at home that was. Okay, so I mean today I have electricity. Okay, but you know I didn't want to take the risk, so I'm actually running this presentation from Brian's today actually. So you know, but you know I dealt with it. Dealt with the obstacle. Okay, you learn to deal with them. Okay, you learn to laugh when you come across them because you just know to accept them because it actually means you're going somewhere. Okay, so if you don't have any obstacles, it means you're probably going nowhere. Okay, if you have obstacles, it means you're going somewhere. Okay, you know, it's only when you're moving you come across obstacles. Okay, and if you're not moving, you won't have any obstacles. Right? So whenever you set goals, just be aware that you know if you come across an obstacle, you don't just step back and say, "Oh, that don't work," and forget it. You know, in trading, as you guys know, there are obstacles. Okay, you guys have to be aware of that, and it's in everything in life. There's obstacles. Just learn to deal with them, or step around them. Okay, so this is basically, I mean, you guys are going to get a copy of this, but this is what you're going to do to test the techniques that I'm going to give you in a few minutes. Now, what you need to do is set a few goals. Okay. So you've got to have a desired outcome, something which you would like to maybe happen, okay, or an experience that you would like to have, okay, within your life right now, okay. Always work from the now, something you want right now, okay, or something that you want very soon, okay. Don't work with goals that are too far away or too long away. You know, work with more shorter term goals. You generally have more a greater benefit from working with shorter time frame goals. Now, I mean, this is just an example here. It is January 2009. You don't have to use it. It's just got these down for example purposes. Okay, it is January 2010, and I'm making £2,000 per week consistently trading. Okay, so it's January 2010. So you've set the time. Okay, specific. You said exactly when you want to achieve it, how much you want to be making. Okay, so for some of you that may be too small. Okay, you might want to be making more. Okay, for some of you, it may be too much of a goal that's not maybe realistic. You might want to go for less. Right, so that's just an example. £10,000 per week consistently trading. Or it is September the 10th, 2009, and I am no longer snatching at my profits. Okay, so that's a short-term goal. Some of you guys might be able to straight away. Okay, or maybe even say, look, next week, okay, after a few of these belief change scripts, okay, belief change meditations, I will no longer be snatching at my profit. Okay. That will be like your design outcome or goal. Okay, now you've got to have an empowering belief that will take you there, obviously. Now you give yourself a raw score, and this will be when you write the goal down. The raw score is a percentage from 1 to 100%, okay, or 0 to 100%. Okay, you can work from 1 to 10 as well. Okay, so you can give yourself a rating from 1 to 10 if you like as well. It doesn't really matter. Okay, it's just something that needs to be measurable. Now, what you need to do is give yourself a raw score. So based upon that goal or that desired outcome, right now, how do you feel about that goal? How sure are you that you can or will make that happen by that time? Now give it a percentage, give it a rating. Now what you want to do, you see mindset 2, mindset 3, mindset 4, mindset 5. Generally what I like you to do, guys, to do firstly is start with these practical methods that I'm going to give you, okay, and work with them, okay, maybe up to around 5 times. Now you might work with one limiting belief, one method, okay. So you might work with removing your limiting beliefs, okay, and installing an empowering belief. Okay, work with one limiting belief, one empowering belief, okay, and work those same beliefs in the same method, okay, at least 5 times, okay, until it really becomes sort of reprogrammed on the unconscious level. Okay, so once or twice may cut it for some, okay, and you'll know, okay, by using this as a log, okay. Once you get 100%, that's generally about right. But usually when you get 100%, just to make sure, do it again. Okay, do the technique again, right? So really, this is how sure you are, basically, or how sure you are that you'll achieve this goal or this desired outcome. Okay, but you basically test it. Okay, you test your desired outcome after you've done a NLP method. Okay, right, guys? Now, so that's how you measure it. Now, this is what I'm going to do is now break into the belief change script. Okay, this is more the practical stuff. This is what you guys need to do. Now now that you understand the mindset and how it works and how important it is to tap into the unconscious level, okay, and even for someone to the more superconscious level, okay, become a silent observer, okay. Now, it's very important to do, as you guys can see. It has a huge effect on all the behaviors and actions that we take, okay, in life. Okay, it has a huge effect on the experiences that we have. So it makes sense to tap into this level. Okay, and one of the first things we need to do is work on our beliefs. Okay, so the beliefs alone will have a huge impact on your emotions and negative emotions and the thought processing that takes place with your emotions and the events that trigger those emotions. So change your beliefs firstly. Okay, it's the first thing we're going to focus on. So this is the belief change script. I've got basically 2 scripts, and then you've got the practical, which you can do, which is really probably enough anyway. But for you guys to know how this sort of technique works from a scripting perspective, and this is basically the script that we use as NLP practitioners. Okay, so if you come to me for therapy, okay, and you want to maybe I'll highlight that as a limiting belief, okay, and then we want to install maybe an empowering belief. Okay, I will use this technique to remove the limiting belief. Okay, and I'll show you how the process works to give you an idea of what you're going to listen to when you do the NLP meditation that I put together. Okay, so what you need to do, firstly, you need to write down 4 beliefs. Okay, you've got to think of a limiting belief, okay, that you have, which you wish that you did not have. Okay, so you write that down. Okay, you're also going to have a belief that is no longer true. Okay, so that's the first 2 beliefs you need, okay, to work with the first part of this script. So you need a limiting belief that you wish you did not have. Okay, so I've given you a few ideas and beliefs that you might have. You're going to have to ask yourself the questions to highlight your own limiting beliefs, though. Then what you do is close your eyes. Okay, as a practitioner, I would walk you through this process. That's one of the reasons why I've had to record my voice over a recording. But I have shifted this a little bit, just through my own experience, what I found works better. Okay, so what you've got there is really sort of, it's an NLP hypnotherapy meditation. So it's actually, through my work on this level, on the mindset level, I've learned that the 3 main processes that have a major effect are NLP, okay, hypnotherapy, and meditation. Okay, so what I've done is basically put something together, okay, which is a meditation, but it uses hypnotherapy language models, okay, but uses an NLP script. Okay, so it's quite unique in that way, and that's what makes it more powerful. And not only that, it actually helps you tap into the more what I call superconscious level. Okay, and you'll experience that. Hopefully, some of you guys will just get the experience just from listening to it the first time. I know some people have. Okay, so you guys probably want to do that maybe after this event, maybe tomorrow or maybe tonight if you guys can't wait straight away. You know, there's no time like the present. So what you do, okay, this is how the technique works generally from an NLP script perspective. Okay, we highlight the limiting belief that we have, that we wish we did not have. We write that down. Okay, we then close our eyes and then we think of that belief. Then we use the mind's eye to elicit, okay, whether we have pictures, sounds, or feelings associated with that belief. So it's basically the thought forms, okay, associated with that belief. And that's the programming language for the unconscious mind to recognize that belief. So think of that belief, that limiting belief, as, like I said, a software application. Okay, the pictures, sounds, and feelings that go along with it are the programming language for that software package. Right? Now, what you do, I mean, you could do this through the script if you like as well. This is one way you can do it, and you can open your eyes and then write down, okay, the sub-modalities that I talked about before. So you basically highlight the sub-modalities related to the picture, sound, and feeling. So you can highlight all the details. Okay, whether the picture, what the picture was of, what it was of, was it black and white, was it color? You know, where was the picture? Where did you see it? Was it on the left? Was it on the right? Was it right in front of you? Was it basically taking up the whole of the image of the mind's eye? You know, the sounds, were they fast? Were there any sounds? For some, there might not be any sounds. For most, there's usually pictures and feelings. But for some that are a bit more auditory, you'll generally experience some sounds as well. Now, you don't have to have all three. You can just have pictures, you can just have sounds, you can just have feelings. And now for some, you might actually have an internal dialogue, and that falls under sound, okay? Like, I know for myself, I'm quite auditory digital, okay? And that actually means that I generally have an inner voice, okay? And a lot of you will experience this inner voice within your trading and outside of trading all the time. Now, this can work for you and against you. Now, some people try to silence this voice completely and push it away. Okay, I don't agree with that. Okay, it causes inner conflict. Okay, that voice is a part of you. Okay, my inner voice is actually a huge part of my my creativity. It's actually a huge source of my inspiration. So it makes sense for me to not just chuck it away completely. It does serve me. Okay, it serves a purpose. So I don't, you know, it's good to silence the mind and obviously, you know, shut up that voice whenever you can, whenever you need to. But you know, it has its purpose. Okay, especially when it comes down to, you know, creativity and inspiration. Okay, so, but a lot of the time it can sabotage you as well. So if you have an inner voice that starts to talk to you as you think of this belief, notice what it says. Notice what it says. Okay, so that's the other things. Now, what you need to then do in step 4 is think of a belief that is no longer true. I.e., for example, you used to be a smoker. That is obviously if you have quit. Okay, or maybe you used to work at a place, okay, that you no longer work at. Okay, you know that is no longer true, right? Okay, or maybe the fact that yesterday was a Tuesday, okay, it was true, but it's no longer true, right? So you write that down, okay, it can be anything, you know? So this is just really what you're going to do, is then highlight all the submodalities and all the sounds, feelings, and pictures associated with this belief. Okay, you write those down. Okay, you don't have to write them down when you do the meditation, okay, because that will guide you through the process. And there's another way. For most of you, you don't probably have to go through the script and do this manually. You just listen to the MP3 that I've given you guys a download link to. You guys should have got that through an email already. Okay, direct email link, okay, to that download. Download that and you can listen to it. I'll talk about that in a little while anyway. Now, what you do is basically, at this point in step 6, okay, you basically change the drivers, okay, for the first belief, okay, so the belief that you wish you did not have, the limiting belief, into the drivers, okay, or the submodalities of that belief that is no longer true. So what you're basically doing, if you think of this as a software application, this limiting belief, what you're doing is basically corrupting the code in a way. What you're doing is actually ruining the code so that your unconscious mind no longer recognizes it. Right? So you can see how powerful this can be. Now, you may have to do this a few times, okay, depending on how powerful that limiting belief is. So what you're doing is turning that limiting belief that you wish you did not have into the sound, sensations, and feelings that you associate within your unconscious mind for a belief that is no longer true. So what you're doing is basically making the limiting belief no longer true. You see how this works? Now, I'm going to talk you through this in the guided meditation anyway, so you don't have to know exactly how this works, but it explains it. Right? Then what you do is test at that point, okay, how you feel about that old belief. Okay, notice that it's no longer a straw. Okay, it may not necessarily completely be gone. For some, it will go straight away. Okay, and you won't even be able to access it, which is all good. But for some, you may have to do this a couple of times. Okay, so you test the old belief. How, you and you ask yourself, okay, notice how, when you think about it now, it's not necessarily as strong. All the sounds and feelings that are associated with it are not really as accessible. Okay, well, they're not as strong. They might still be a little bit, but, they're broken. Okay, the code has been broken. Okay, the unconscious mind works with this code. So if the code is broken, okay, it no longer works. So again, as I said, I'm going to talk you through also testing the belief in the meditation. So don't worry about that. This is really just to help you understand the process. Okay. Now, step 9, what we do is we now close our eyes and we think of a belief which we know is absolutely true. Okay, so for example, I don't know that today the sky is going to be darker. I said after 7 p.m. today, but at that time of writing this initially, it would have been dark at 7 p.m. But today actually didn't get dark till about 10 o'clock. Okay, but however, it can be anything. A belief that is absolutely true and nobody can tell you otherwise. Okay, one of the beliefs, that you might use is, what car do you drive? That nobody can tell you, otherwise. The car you drive is the car you drive. Okay, nobody can tell you otherwise. So you might actually picture that belief, okay, and associate. You might actually envision the image of the car now, okay, as you elicit what the mind's eye is seeing. You might actually notice the sound. You might hear that sound, the sound of the car. Okay, you might associate some feelings with that. Okay, belief. So any belief, it doesn't have to be a car, but it might be one that you want to work with. Okay. So think about the car that you have, and that's absolutely true. Nobody can tell you otherwise. Now, what you do in step 11 is to think about the belief that you'd like to have instead of the old belief. So the more empowering belief. Okay, so you write down what it is. Okay, think of that belief in detail, and notice that again that it has some pictures, sounds, and feelings associated with it. You write these down again if you're doing it manually, okay, or otherwise you'll be talked through this through the meditation, okay? And then what you do is basically integrate these two beliefs, okay? Within the actual meditation, what I would do is take you through a process that actually makes one belief become one with the other belief, okay? So therefore what you do is integrate it anyway, okay? But it's more of a visual process and a feeling process. Okay, but I believe it's very powerful to do it in that way, because there's another process that we use in NLP called a parts integration, which is really if you're experiencing internal conflict. So basically, maybe you have a conscious part of you that believes something, and then you have an unconscious part of you that believes something else. So consciously you might like to believe that you're successful, you're a successful trader, but unconsciously your unconscious mind saying, no, wait a minute, you're shit at trading, you're crap, that's what I know from my experience. Okay, so you might have these two parts, okay, of you that are actually sort of fighting against each other, right? Now what you do is integrate these two parts so they become one. Okay, so rather than try and keep them two separated, basically what you do is integrate these two parts, okay, so they become one. Okay, and what you do is basically consciously make the more unconscious belief or so become the more conscious belief, which is more empowering. Or it may be the other way around. It may turn the more conscious belief into the unconscious belief, which is more empowering. So whichever one is more empowering, that's what you want it to become. So what we do in this process is basically now make the empowering belief, okay, we turn that pretty much into the belief that we know is absolutely true, right? So what you see, what we've done here, we've highlighted a limiting belief. We've turned that the coding of that belief in the unconscious mind into a belief that we no longer believe, right? And then what we've done is picked up a a belief that is absolutely true and picked up all the coding for a belief that is absolutely true and taken that across into a belief that we want to install. That is the empowering belief. So you guys see how the process works, okay? So first we think about the limiting belief, we make it weaker, and we're basically trying to, we in a way sort of get rid of the limiting belief. And then we get the empowering belief and make our unconscious mind believe in that belief even more, okay? By installing that empowering belief and believing that it is absolutely true. So that's how the process works. Very, very powerful. Very powerful. Okay, it's also important to future pace. Okay, so let your unconscious mind know that you have acknowledged the new belief that you hold that is true. Okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, I know, it's incredible, you know. And this is just one technique here. I've got another technique for you in a second, okay? But there is a few, but you only need one technique. It's just like, you know, in trading, you only need one trading method and stick with that consistently, okay? And that's the same with these methods in NLP. Now, you just need to find one method that works, okay, and use it consistently. Yep, basically you get a copy of this presentation, and it's also recorded, okay? So you get a copy of all these slides. So this is basically your script in a way. And you also, that's the reason why I've actually put the script on the presentation, and the reason why I've put your goals and outcomes sort of spreadsheet in the presentation. Now you guys can create your own one if you like as well, and put it in a different format. Okay, but the whole point of this presentation is to give you practical things, the things you can do. You know, I don't want to just talk about the mindset, you know, and babble on about, you know, how good it is to tap into the unconscious mind and give you no practical methods to actually make the changes happen. You know, it just doesn't make sense. The whole point, you know, that's the reason why I've called it practical methods for enhanced trading performance. Okay, it's practical. It's stuff which you can actually do. Okay, and that's it's through the doing that you're actually going to experience the changes, right? And if you don't do anything, even after this event, if you just listen and you don't do any of these techniques, you know, it's not going to do anything for you, obviously. Okay, you have to do the technique. You have to. And not just once, more than once. Right? Now, this is the test of your discipline. Now, obviously, discipline in trading is important. Now, this is the test of your discipline. Okay, how disciplined are you to do these techniques? Okay, think of this now as a test of your discipline, and think how you actually react, okay, or take action off this event. Okay, that is going to be proof of your discipline. Okay, that is going to then reflect in your trading. Now, if you take away what I've given you here today, and you practice this now and make it, maybe, you know, do it on a daily basis. Take one limiting belief and one empowering belief every day. Okay, and do this. Okay, it's only 30 minutes. Okay, people will spend hours and hours watching TV every day, which has no positive effect majority of the time on their life. Okay. And yet do this on a consistently day-to-day basis. You know, I personally work on myself every day. Work on my trading, okay, and work on myself more importantly than anything else, okay, for at least hour, 2 hours a day. I would much rather do that than watch TV. Now, here's a bonus NLP script. Okay, now it's for some, if you're not really feeling the first one, you might want to do this one. So you identify a belief that you're convinced is absolutely true. Okay, for example, the sun will come up tomorrow, or breathing is essential for life. Okay, which it is, right? If you stop breathing, you die. Where do you have the belief located in space? Okay, so this is more of a location thing. Okay, so you highlight where the beliefs are located. Okay, so in the mind's eye, the belief will have a location. Okay, identify the belief that you have doubts about, i.e., or e.g., I can run the 100 meters in 12 seconds. Okay, where is it located? Now, you do this in the mind's eye. Okay, and then you have to learn the process and do this in your mind's eye. Okay, it's the only way to do this. Now, I talk people through doing this. Okay, I mean located. When you think of a belief, you'll notice that there's a location. Some of you will feel sensations, or you'll see an image. And when you close your eyes, okay, you'll notice that maybe it be to your left or be to your right, or the sensation may be in your stomach, or maybe for some it may be outside of you. Okay, so there'll be a position, okay, for either the belief sensations or the feelings or the sounds, right? So that's the location. When you close your eyes, it's a little bit difficult to sort of explain unless you've done it. So you might have to try it on first. If you can't do it and find a location, then this might not be a good technique for you to use. Okay, but if you think about a belief, you'll notice that when you envision that belief, you'll automatically start to see or hear. You may even have an internal dialogue. If you have an internal dialogue as you think about the belief, where is it coming from within you? Just sort of, just trust your unconscious mind to tell you. Don't think too consciously or too hard about it. Just say, okay, that belief is coming from there. Okay, it's coming from, straight away. As soon as it's the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, so you say, as soon as you close it, so it looks like, playing a film in your mind's eye. Some of you are going to be straight in front of you for most of your beliefs. Okay, some of you it's going to come from a direction. And now, the directions are quite important in this technique. But for some that are not so visual in a way, okay, or not so kinesthetic, this might not be the best technique. Now, even with sounds, it can work as well, though. Sounds can come from directions. Now, the more you work on the unconscious level, you'll begin to recognize the unconscious mind's programming language a little bit better. So you might have to do these techniques and think about the belief for a little while before it becomes a little bit more obvious. Okay, so now what we do is then think of the belief that you want to get rid of. Notice where it is located. Now you send it off into the distance. Okay, spare me a sec, guys. So the location, as I say, is it's important for this technique, but you don't necessarily have to do this technique. That's why I've given you a few. Okay. So what you do with that belief that you want to get rid of, notice where it is located, then you send it off into the distance, okay, in an arc, okay, so in an arc format. So you visualize maybe the image, okay, or the sound or the feeling, okay, you sort of encompass this as a sort of entity. I know you think of it as a sort of separate entity on the mind's eye, okay, and you think of the belief as a sort of separate entity in the mind's eye. And then what you do is you sort of send it off in an arc and bring it back into the location this time around where the doubtful belief was. Okay, and then from where it is located now, you send it off the distance again and then bring it back into the location of the false or ludicrous belief. Okay, and then what you have to do is break the state. You think of a shiny, fantastic belief that you'd like to adopt. Okay, so the empowering belief. Okay, note it is usually more empowering to select an ongoing process belief. So instead of I am confident, you may say something like my confidence is increasing. For some that works better. For some it doesn't, but for some it does. Okay, so try it out. It's the only way you're going to know. Everyone is different. Okay, send it off to the distance and bring it back to the position of doubt. And so for some, this might be a little bit confusing to do. Okay, but I've just chucked this in as a bonus. So you might have to read this through a few times. You may even have to draw yourself a diagram. I've got a diagram actually based upon this sort of script. Show you where how you sort of bring about the beliefs and the locations and how you move them around. It's not the easiest one to do, but I want you to just chuck it in. Okay, so now in step 8, you send it off to the distance again and bring it back to the position now where the belief that was absolutely true. So basically what you're doing is playing around with the positions of the beliefs. Okay, I've just made a note here, okay? When moving the positions of the beliefs, it is important that they cross the vertical midline, okay? So left side to the right side, or from the right side to the left side of your body. Okay, so it's important to do that, okay? So that's why one of the reasons it's best to send them off into a far distance, okay, and bring them back in an arc or in a circular fashion. For some of you, if that's the difficult method to get your head around, for some it is, but it's very powerful when you get it right. Okay, so you may have to read over it a few times, but because time's clicking on, I may have to move this on, guys. Now, that's pretty much the end of the presentation anyway. However, what I want you guys to do, the most powerful method, which I have actually come across and I use myself for dealing with limiting beliefs, Okay, because as a practitioner, one of the things that you can't do is obviously go and see an NLP therapist every day. Okay, one of the things is with these techniques, it's very sometimes difficult to do them upon yourself. Okay, so as you might see, okay, so somebody has to talk about. Okay, so for some it may involve really sort of sitting down and understanding the process. And understand the script first of all. But the purpose of me putting these scripts here it's not really so that you have to do it manually. And one of the reasons why I recorded, okay, my voice, okay, and as a practitioner, so that you basically got sort of a takeaway practitioner. You can take away me talking you through this technique and method, and just listen to my voice, and as I guide you through the process, rather than you having to understand the process fully. You just have to understand the process a little bit. Okay, and then do that technique that I've given you. So guys, if you have time tonight, do it tonight. Get it working straight away. Okay, what is your limiting belief? Okay, you'll need a limiting belief. Okay, you'll need a belief that is no longer true. You'll need a belief that is absolutely true, and you'll need a belief that is empowering, that you wish to install. So you need 4 beliefs to work with this process. Okay, the guided meditation. Now, the guided meditation is going to guide you through it in a way, so you'll actually sort of be able to actually even bring out the beliefs as and when you're doing the process. And for some, it's actually a good way to do that, because you let your unconscious mind bring about a belief each and every time you go into that moment. Okay, because one of the things, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with brainwaves. Okay, basically our brainwaves go through different levels. Now, most of us sort of on the more conscious level, so as we on the conscious level on more the alpha state, and then we go to what we call the beta state. Okay, and then so we're in the more beta state, and then we go into the more alpha state, then it takes us into the more theta state. Okay, and then the delta state. Now, the alpha and theta states is really where hypnotherapy works. Okay, and meditation sort of starts to sort of delve more into the unconscious level. Okay, so it's at the alpha to theta level and theta to delta level. Okay, but it's theta really where most of the healing begins to take place. Okay, on the unconscious level. So if you guys might want to even look at theta healing and Chios healing. There's other areas which I've done a lot of work in. And I do a lot of energy work, which is more to do with the chakras, okay, and working more on the energy level rather than on the mindset level. And this is what I talk about, working more sort of beyond the mindset level, working with source, okay. I believe the source of everything, and everything, including yourself and everything around you, is energy, okay. Now, working with energy is working with source. Now, and that is really one of the most powerful methods to also work with. Now, but however, working on the unconscious mind level will have a huge benefit and have a huge impact as well. So, now, if you want to know more, you can contact me personally via email, or you can give me a call as well. If you guys don't have my personal contact number, it is actually on our website, www.l2st.co.uk, under the contact section. Okay. Otherwise, email me. I don't mind dropping you my number. For you guys that are not in the UK, I often speak to people from Skype. Okay, so you can call me if you want to work on this level a little bit more. Okay, you can book me for a free one-on-one consultation, so we can begin to work together and discuss other areas that you might want to work on as well. However, it's important just to start working with this. You've got something to work with here. Okay, give this a go first of all. Try this on, because this may be all you need. Okay, because remember, your negative emotions and all your behaviors actually stem from who you are, and the biggest determining factor of who you are, okay, and the core of your being is your beliefs that you hold. Okay, so working on your beliefs is going to have a huge impact on all areas about of you and your mindset, okay, and who you are, all the actions you take, the negative emotions and any emotions for that fact that process themselves within your mindset. Okay, so that's why I had to work on the most powerful method before anything, because this is a huge subject, but I want to give you something of huge value. Okay, something that is practical and I know will have a huge impact and give you a big breakthrough in life. Okay, and that was my goal today, and hopefully I've succeeded in giving you something that will help you achieve that. Now, the next seminar I'm planning is also a seminar. Next online seminar, sorry, is in September, right? I'm looking to, I may even do this every couple of months or so. Okay, do online events on this sort of level. So if any of you guys are interested, you can see they're very affordable, and it is pretty much priceless information you're getting. Okay, and that's what I want to do. I do want to continue to help you guys in this level because I understand how important it is. But it has to be done in this format, and it has to be, and I have to give you practical methods. And giving you one method at a time, every month or so is good enough, I feel. And for some of you, you'll just have a huge breakthrough just on this alone. Okay, and I'm very confident in that. Okay, because this is probably one of the most important processes that I work with, okay, more than anything else. However, there are others. Okay, lots of others. Now, the next online seminar is probably going to be on strategies for dealing with negative thoughts, self-talk, feelings, and emotions. Okay, so today we focus a little bit more on who you are, your beliefs. Okay, the filter, generally, the most important one to work is your beliefs. Okay, so there is a reason to work on your attitudes as well, but a lot of that shifts with your beliefs because of the sensations and feelings that you have on the unconscious level related to beliefs. So beliefs would have a huge impact on who you are on the mindset level, definitely. Okay, so anyone interested in that, I've sent you guys more details about that close to the time. It's not even I have a good idea of what I'm going to be covering, but it's still early stages. September's still a couple of months away. Okay, so any questions, guys, before we close up? I know we've gone over the time limit a little bit, but all good? Yeah, priceless is an understatement, yeah. I mean, that's it, if you think about it, what you guys, yeah, you think about it, what you guys pay for this, people spend that on a pair of jeans without even thinking about it twice, and that doesn't have a real huge impact on your life, does it? So, I mean, me personally, I always invest in myself, I always think of it, going to events like this and, even in person, attending events like this online. I think of it as like a pit stop, you're going around the track in life, right? Now, at some point, you're going to need refueling, okay? You're going to run out of fuel at some point. So I think of this as a refuel. It just helps me sort of refresh, sit back, see things from a different light. So even myself, I sometimes attend, especially, mindset events, related to the wealth mindset, anything to do with that. I mean, what my mentor in NLP, does some fantastic events. I attend these events now and again. And, for me, it's a continuous growth process. You have to keep growing as traders. Now, for some, they will have a limiting belief, that they don't need to grow. For some, they just feel that, they're comfortable. That's fair enough, but I even have that sometimes. I feel comfortable, and then I think, wait a minute, I need some more excitement again. Let me move to the next level. Now, there's always somewhere to aim. There's always the next level to aim for. Okay, so I'm getting some good feedback right now. That's good. Okay, any books that I could recommend to complement my session today? Okay, if you really want to get interested in NLP, you might want to get some of the books of NLP. I'll drop a couple of emails to you guys. I mean, in terms of NLP and meditation, there's not a lot out there. There is one book, NLP for meditation. Okay, NLP for meditation. NLP for traders. NLP for traders. Sorry, NLP for traders is a very old book, but it's, to be honest, it was. I think that guy sort of done a quick job and put that together. Whoever did it. One day maybe I'll write my own book on this. Okay, because at the moment there's not really a lot lot out there on NLP for trading as such. It's basically my niche right now, what I'm really trying to sort of focus on. And there is a few guys using NLP, but more on a sort of psychology level. Okay, psychologists are very different to NLP. NLP, we believe in quick change. Now, so there's probably a few books that I can recommend. I don't have the sources to mind at the moment. There's a lot of books that what I'll do, I'll drop you guys an email. How's that sound? I'll drop you guys an email, all the books, and some of you guys are aware of some of the things that I've been reading, and are familiar with most of the sort of books that I'm reading on a regular basis. I'll throw some of those titles your way, okay, and hopefully you can pick up something there as well. Okay, I'm just going for the questions here, guys. Right, gives some really good feedback. Excellent. Guys, it's the first time I've done this in an online environment, so I really appreciate the feedback because I do this, I used to do this in the seminar environment, but I do really sort of work on a more one-on-one level. But however, I do want to, I know not everyone is able to work on a one-on-one level with me, so I want to make it more, in a way, it's affordable and everybody can, and accessible, okay, for everyone in this way. If I do it in this manner, if you guys are interested in regular sessions on this, I'll keep it going. It all depends on the interest, and I can continue doing this every month or two. I'll just do an event like this, and I'll give you a practical method which you can go ahead and do. Okay, guys, just go for this. Okay, so remember next week's webinar, if you haven't already attended, registered, I believe most of you guys have. Okay, next week's event will be back a little bit more to the technical side of things. Yeah, you can discuss on my blog. If you guys want to post something up on my blog, it's fair enough. Please feel free to do that. So in thetradingzone.com, feel free to add to the content, guys. That website is there for you guys. Feel free to share information, share your thoughts, share your ideas. We grow together. And what I'm trying to create here is a close group of traders that we all contribute to each other. It's just not about me contributing to you guys. I like to hear back from you guys if there's anything you want to contribute. I'm all for that. Okay, I'm just going for the questions here, guys. Yes, so the practical part, as I said, most of this event is explaining how it all works. Okay, so it's it's not a lot of time to, as you say, but we really sort of discuss what we need to. It's what you need to take away. And again, remember, this is recorded, and you guys can actually go back and watch this again and again and again. And the whole point of me recording a practical method, okay, for you guys to take away is because that you can do in your own time again and again and again. Okay, so the purpose of this event today is not really to do the practical right now. It's to do it after the event in your own time, because you need to ask yourself some questions first, guys. And you guys have probably been given, an idea. And some of you guys may even have to sleep on this before, you realize what you need to ask yourself. Well, next week's class is more on the trading side. They're more on the technical. Okay, so we'll be focusing more on adaptive trading. Okay, focusing on imbalance and balance and the exact methods that are used to trade those different phases in the market. Okay, guys, well, that brings us to the end of the presentation, and all the questions are pretty much answered there. So hopefully you guys had a great session and really enjoyed it. I've got some good feedback so far. Have a great evening, guys, and I look forward to getting your feedback.